So today we'll be going to discuss regarding the form validation. Okay. So yesterday we had seen that we can create the form using the template driven, and after that we can store the data, means we can pass the data anywhere. Right now we are storing the data in the local storage. Okay. So tomorrow, means once we will complete this all, then we can pass the data to the server side and we will save the data to the our real database. So meanwhile, now see, if you will not fill the email ID, what will happen? Go to console and just verify. Check in the console what it will come. Let's say delete, pass, yeah, don't pass anything. Just press enter. What happened? All fields are empty. Be not getting any data. That's why here also be not get any data in the submit button. It means that suppose this type, if you will tell the user, means if you design any real time form, and if user will submit like this type, means that become the problem, because duplicate record will be available a lot, because user had clicked, you had not applied the validation. So you are not restricting the user regarding the proper field, that whether you have this detail, then only you can go ahead. So in that type of scenario, what we have to do, we have to go for the validation side. Okay, so we will perform the form validation. So let's create one form, and after that we will see how we can create the form validation. Let's remove this one. Yeah, so we will create one new form actually, and after that we will see. Okay, so here one form is already there. We will explain you what is the code written. Now see, when you working actually with real means when you have to work from the, means when you copying the code from the Google, then how you will paste the code. So in our component, now what we will do, we will copy the code from the starting side, means inside the class. Okay, so something view child is there, contact form null, let it to be. We not want this one. So we will take this contact, but anyway, let it to be that also. We will take this on submit method, and let's save. But now we getting that error, contact form dot value. So what we can do, what it passing here, we will take that simple one. It's taking contact form. Fine. We will take that itself. So take contact form here. Remove this contact form dot value. Now you will not get error. So now I telling you somewhat extra level. Okay. So actually now you can create one model. Model in the sense that which type of data is there. This one. The model equal to, okay, those fields. Let it to be this also. Wait, we will come to that one also. So see what we are telling that here. Here we are creating one model, means we created one class, and in this class what we can do, we can create one separate TS class, TS page, and on that TS page we can define what are the fields are there. Okay, like first name, last name, gender, age, talk, email ID, whatever is there. And in these all, we are defining regarding their data type. That first name, it will take always a string. What is the benefit actually? Now you can observe, just see. We will create one class. If you want, you can keep in this itself. If you want, you can create the separate also. It's not the issue. So what I will do, I will create inside one new file. Okay. contsct contact.ts. contact.ts. Okay. And now we will write one class here with export keyword. ex dot export, give the class name and then contsct contact, fine, and pass here. So now what we will do, what all fields be taking in the HTML, we will pass here. Okay. So here already it's given. So let's say we will copy this completely. Okay. So now what happened? Be taken first name, last name, gender, is talk, email ID, different are there. So how we will use on our component page? So what we will do? It's already export. We had seen already this thing in the JavaScript. So now what we will do? We have to import that in our component file. So let's say import. Import and dot slash. Here you will get that file. Then next, let's control space. You will get that class name. So we got the class name. So that is contact. What we will do? We will not directly use this as like service. We're not going to inject, but what we will do? We will define that somewhere. It's you can get that here. It's a defining. So we will define. We will assign that to one variable. Take that contact colon contact. Okay. And here also, if you want, you can rename this one contact. Okay. So we will take contact C, not an issue, or otherwise just take contact. Yes. Now see, if you will put cursor over this one contact, you will get complete detail. Got it? Means if we will use this anywhere, we will get a complete data type regarding each field. What are the fields are there? So what we will do? So wherever we want to use that one, means we have to define that one. We will use that variable on that place. Now we will refer that this is like a template because that is just like a blueprint that you have to follow that structure. Mail ID, email ID, those all fields are there. So as you will pass that value, it will ask you that it is like a string or boolean. So those value you have to assign there. Now see, be getting here error. Why? Because wait. So what we had done, we created one class, we defined all the fields, what all fields I want on the UI side. Okay, this class we going to export inside our import inside our class TS page. So on TS page we had assigned to one variable, and this variable now wherever you want you will use this one. So what we want, what we are doing, we first making one field means making one sample email ID, password, be defining each value, initial value. Means you can tell default value that what value you want. So first name, this is empty. Then last name, it's empty. Each talk, now I give an empty. Email ID, empty. And gender, some value already predefined. So these all value become predefined. Means by default, your form will get this value. Means whatever value be passing here, this value will be assigned to your form side. So now one thing. So why be getting this error? Let's say do one thing, go one by one in this section. So let's say first name, okay, control space. Sorry. Now what I can do, Let's remove and give 1. Now see what is the error. Something error is there. Type number is not assignable to type a string. How we know that this is a string and we are assigning that a number? Because how we are referring,
We
we had
already
a
defined.
hello. Okay, so we had defined this value, means we had defined these all variables where on our third party that there on that file, ts file which we had designed, this one contact.ts. So with the help of this, we are referring, how we are referring this dot contact, we are referring this dot contacts. So what is happening here, this dot contact, and it's taking all the values, means whatever value we had defined inside this one. So why we are doing this? This is because it going to help in the type check. Okay, it helping you while type checking whether what all fields you are defining, those field belonging to number, string, boolean, whatever is there, it will help us in pre pre-validate. Okay, and it gives you suggestion and you can't enter any value from your end, like we are mostly giving any. So is any is not the proper solution, that's not good. Okay, any means we have no any idea regarding that, then only we are going with the any. But we never try with the any actually when you will working with the production side. So we will never try to get any. Yeah, but if we have no any idea regarding the data type, that time we can go with the any. So suppose what we will provide here. So here it will give you suggestion that what is the data type. Now you can see that first name is type of a string. How it's telling? Contact dot first name, means you are going inside the contact and then that is the first name. It means it taking value from here, means I want initial value is like this. So this will help you in pre-validating each value, means it will not give user to enter any value. Okay, like number, string, it checking here itself that you have to pass only and only a string or only number, like that. Fine. So next thing, in console side, when we are passing data in the console also, okay, so we will get the data with the reference of that itself here as well. But before that, in the console we can assign this value. Now you can see here on submit, previous yesterday what we were doing, we was passing this value as a argument contact form. But now it's not like that. What we had done actually here, we had used this contact form colon ng form. We are telling that what type of form this is. So already we had taken this ng form. Okay, so we will assign that one. Let's take that also. So ng form, now it giving error import. Fine, so we imported that ng form. So then now it will, so now contact form. Now what happened actually, yesterday what we by doing, we by taking this value as the argument and we by receiving here directly. That's also fine, it's not incorrect, nobody will tell you that this is incorrect. We can do this way also. Second way is that we will pass that value to ng form. Okay, because already we passing means it is ng form, we are passing that variable local variable to ng form. So we imported that ng form and now our complete data of the form when we clicking, it will assign to this contact form. Okay, due to ng form. So now we will get that value directly here with the help of this keyword. Okay, this dot contact form and dot value. Now you can verify now, but now I will get error. Just wait. Now come to HTML side. Let's see what we had done. So here you can see first name, we taking first name, then second input field, type equal to text, some ID is there, name property is there, and ng model is there. But remove this ng model. But 1 second, it will print actually on this page itself. That's why it's taking ng. Let it be. We will see later this NG model we will need. That time we will see. Input checkbox. Let's remove this. Now let's save and let's see whether we are getting the output or we getting error. Okay, we're not getting error. Let's execute. Now go to console and now check whether we are getting the data or not. So we got error. What is the error? Read property of undefined value. Fine. Now come to the code side. What we had done and what we had seen yesterday, that if we passing a name, what should be required here? When we passing name, what should be required there?
NG model.
NG model. So we will pass here NG model model. Correct. So same thing we will pass in all. That is a small letter of M or capital letter. But just one time check. Let it to be. Just comment. We not want right now. What it giving error? Okay, that argument side. Okay, fine. So let's pass that contact form. We will take from here itself. We will not take this. Let it to be comment. Now just see whether we getting any error or not. So error is not there. Fill the data, submit. What happened? We got the data from that console, means say that button click. Now come to the next level. Let it to be this one. Just I will. Okay. So what we getting in the initial value? We not getting anything, but we want this value. So what we have to do? We have to use that NG model, two-way binding. Then only we can get this value in your input field. Whatever field you will pass here. Let it to be. So next we have to look over the validation part. So let's see how we can do that validation.
Sir, one time, sir, repeat, sir.
Which one?
Sir, I'm not getting means inside the method.
This NG
Sir, inside
which
method on submit
which on
contact
submit.
from.
1 second, wait. Remove this also. Okay. So inside the on submit, what we done? We taken this argument, and from where we getting this one? From this on submit. Here we are doing ng submit, and here we are passing on submit, and inside ng that on submit we are passing that local variable. So where is the local variable? Local variable is contact form, correct? And this contact form be passing inside this on submit, and after that when we clicking We are receiving that value here and that we passing in the console. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now just see whether if we will not take any value, then also we will get the data. Means we getting that empty, but we not want this one. So we have to validate. So already some custom validators are there. Sorry, we can validate with two ways. One is means already inbuilt validators. Second is the custom validator. So inbuilt validator, it will not means you can think it will not work in each scenario. Okay, that if you want some validate on your side, then in that scenario you have to validate by custom validator. But most of the cases you will get that. Means built-in validator will help you. So what we have to do, let's see. So one is the required validator. Okay, so the required validator return true only if the form control has non-empty value entered. In the sense, suppose in each case if we will pass a required, okay, so it will verify whether it is compulsory or not, it is required or not. So what we will do, we will pass required in each case. Okay, let's pass required. Okay, we will pass required in each case. And now what we will do, we will go with the next level. Just 1 second. Okay, so after required, let's say, and don't pass this required in the, okay, don't pass. Now let's see what will happen. So we had entered required. So let's say click, but then also be getting the data. Means be getting that form data here. It's not validating. Some requirement is there or what? So it's true. So what we done? We passed required. That's fine. Here we have to pass mean length then. Okay, sorry. So once we will pass this required, and after that you have to think regarding this one, that it will return you true or false. It will, if the data is there, it means it will return you the true. So now what I will do, in the button, means if these all fields are required, so disable the button. Okay, and once you will get that, means once you will get the value that we had entered inside that one, then only we can enable that button. Like that type we can do that. Okay, so now just disable the button. How we can disable the button? Anyone?
Sir, disable is disable.
Sir,
Disable
class
equals to is
disable.
Okay, so we will go with the property binding of the disable because we want condition. Okay, so disable disabled equal to, and we will pass here that whether our form or fields are valid or not. Okay, so now where is the form? This form, sorry, local variable, this one, contact form. So we will pass that here. Okay, contact form and dot valid. But when we will pass this one, when this is not valid, correct? When this form is not valid, that time we will disable this one. Either it will be get enabled. Now let's see. So now our button is, 1 second. Now button get disabled. Now enter the value. Now see, when we enter the value, our button get enabled. Got it? Now just again reload the page. Now you can see that your button is disabled. It's not clickable. It's light color. Now pass the value. You email ID something and see as we will pass that third value, still our button is disabled. Okay, but as we will pass the third value, your button will get enabled, and now you can able to click. If you will click, you will get the value. Got it? So this type actually required is working. Means what we had done, we had added this required field. Suppose that this field is not required. Means just imagine this email ID is required, this first name is not required, and let it to be last name is not required. Now see what will happen. So now your button is disabled. So which all fields are required? First and last. So enter the value in the first one. Q. Don't pass anything here. Pass here. So see, we got that button got enabled. Let's remove this one and pass in the second field and see what happened. It's not getting enabled. Why? Because the required is not in the second line. You can see in the code right side. After ng model, required is not in the second one. See that in this case, required is not there. That's why this is not going to hit that disabled or enable property. So, but in the third, that's required is there. So as we will pass the value, we will get the button enabled. Button got enabled, and now we can click that value. Clear? So this required property, are you understand or having any doubt? So which fields data on that we will pass the required. We will not pass on each one. Clear or not? Okay. So required validation, it will work like that. It will return you true. It will return the true. So what we are doing, we are checking contact form dot valid. Do one thing. I wanted to print this data, whether it returning true, false. Let's just check that whether I don't know whether it will work or not. But let's try. Pass in the interpolation and save and just see. So what are we getting now? It's be getting that true. Sorry, false. REQUIRED required. Now we getting that false. Now what we will do actually, pass the data. Q, pass data Q. What happened? What is the status of the required now? So now suddenly when we pass the data, suddenly that value got changed, and now we getting that required as a true. Now I want one thing. Wait. I want value also. I want to print value as well. Whatever value we getting from that field. How we can do that? Means I want to show on the UI. How we can? So we can take this contact form dot value, means we have to pass this where we have to make one variable and we can pass this one. Can we take with the help of this one? I don't know whether or not. Let's try one time. Contact form dot what? Email ID. Let's try one time.
Sir, NG on it
Let's see.
also works, sir. NG on it.
Yeah. NG on init, but see when NG on init will work when you will when you want to load data on the page load itself. Okay, means on the loading time itself, that time it will work. Got it? So this type it will not work. So what we will do, we will define this variable. Wait, we will do one thing. Yeah, contact form dot value. Pass here this dot. Now declare this. And now take this and here and pass. Now we will get the value. Now see. What happened? Oh, 1 second. So now you can see that. What happened? We got the data. We got the value, whatever value is printing. But I taking only one value. Now take all value. Okay. So email dot name. What is that? That is first name. Now take last name. Now save. And now just verify. So we got complete value. Got it. So whatever we entering that value. So next. Okay, so we looked over the required validation. Now we will see about the second validation, that is minimum length. Okay, suppose there is validation regarding the main length, where we will use this main length property. Can anyone? In which scenario we can use this?
Passwords.
Password. But see, but anyway, if we will take password means like a 10 digit, 4 digit, 15 digit, anything, there is no any problem. But somewhere it's sure we will take only mean length, means like that, where mobile number. Correct. Mobile number will be only 10 digit. So you have to restrict the user that you have to pass only and only 10 digit. Okay, so suppose that just consider one more new field. Mobile number and MBO mobile number, that type equal to, let it to be text, delete name, MOBILE mobile number. What we have to do on TS page, let's see, is there any changes? No changes. But if you want here, you have to pass this. Okay, let's see. So now actually required we had added. Required we had not added. Okay. Now pass something first. Now remove this pass number. We can pass multiple. It's going on, correct? See this. This is not the valid mobile number. So what we have to do, we have to go with the mean length validation. Okay, so what we will pass means, now you can see that we are passing multiple validator there. Okay, required field is there, then next field like mean length, you will get the suggestion. Okay, how much digit you are restricting. So minimum length, we are passing that minimum length is 10. Okay, let's just do one thing. Minimum length 5 means, what we are telling, mean you have to pass 5, but max you can go unlimited. Means minimum 5 digits should be there, but maximum you can pass 50 digit also. It means that. So now just see, pass this much only. Let's say yeah. Now see this validation, this button, submit button. See, when it getting enabled, now it is disabled because required property and mean length, two fields are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means it got enabled. Remove this 4. It disabled. Now we are telling mean length is 5, but we are not restricting the user. It getting the limited. It means we can pass this minimum, means minimum value should be only. But what we want only and only 10 digit. Correct? So 10 digit, in the sense we can go with the max also. So let's pass this max. Mean and max. So max length 10. Pass here also, mean length 10, max length 10. Is there any length property? No. Now just pass this value. Remove this one. Now validation is not there. Means it's not validating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It become 9. Now pass 10. It is valid. Pass 11. It not giving that you can't able to enter. Okay. I pressing that value, but it not accepting because we had given max length 10. That's why. So now it will accept only and only 9, means 10 digit. That's it. Now do one thing. Remove this mean length. Okay. Now remove this main length and pass just max length. And let's verify what it will do. First pass all value. Remove this. 1, 2, 3. Just see. 1. It taken that. Max length 10. But then also it is verifying, it giving that value. But when we passing mean and max together, it restricting the user that you can go up to that only. But let's see, up to 10 we are going or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now see, it can't rest, means we can't enter more than this digit. Now I pressing also, but we can't enter. If you're not believing, just D. Okay, now copy and just paste. It's not taking all digits. See, after means 2, there are more number of 3, but it's not. So this type, what we are doing, we are restricting the user. So what we are doing, we are passing max length. So how much digit you want, you can go with that. Same type, suppose in the name character, if you looking that a South person, so their names are too lengthy. If you will give this input field, their name will get filled, means their name will be capture this complete length. So in that scenario, what we are doing, we are restricting that you can enter only and only 10 digit, 10 character, 15 character, like that. So it restricting. So in that situation, we can go with the mean and max length. Clear? Or having any doubt? So still what we had discussed, we discussed two property, 3 required mean length, max length. So 3 conditions are there. Now go with the next max length validation. Already we had seen how much value you want, you can pass there. Fine. Next pattern. This is the main thing. So suppose email ID is there, okay? And if you want to follow some pattern, like at the rate should be there, your email ID should be start from the small letter, capital letter, this, that, something. So you can go with the pattern, okay? And you can pass here something like this. We had looked over in the JavaScript how we can pass a regular expression that we had seen there, okay? Means for this you have to go with that, you can get that how we can passing in the JavaScript side. I forget this one. Actually mostly it will take a small letter and capital letter of A to Z. It will not take the alphabet number, because one alphabetical order is not there. So that type we can pass the pattern. Fine. Let's no go with the email validation. How we can validate the email? So just take this type equal to text, okay? And here email is there, okay? So what we will do, we will pass here email. Let's save. Where is email? This one. Now just see why your button is disabled still, because this is not a valid email. This is email field, but it is not the valid email. That's why our button is disabled. Now pass the valid email. How it will verify the valid email? Anywhere, whether you are registering on any website, if you not want to pass your email ID, you can pass dummy email ID. How we can pass C? Pass A, give at the rate, because at the rate symbol will verify something. At the rate G. Now see, after this at the rate, okay, it verifying some character. It wants some character. Let's remove this bit A at the rate A. Now you can enter this one. This is means this it will validate. This is like a email ID. Okay, that's why your button get enabled. Now you can click that. You will get the data. So if you want some dummy email ID, if you not want to pass, suppose you have to verify your input field, or if you want to register somewhere, but you not want that your proper email ID. Okay, you can go with some dummy just for namesake. How we can pass? Just main thing is the at the rate. With the help of at the rate symbol, it is deciding that this is a email ID. Let's remove this all. Pass at the rate. Pass something, but starting also it want, yeah. Okay, so this type it can be, it will not verify that whether this is correct or not. Let's pass something, just a character. It's not, because it want at the rate, then something. Got it? So this type we can verify any email ID. So how we can verify email? With the help of the email keyword. Okay, this we will pass inside the our HTML tag. The next what we had seen, how to disable the button. Already we had seen that. Show disabled equal to contact form dot valid. So this type we can disable that, and it will make your condition whether um, true or false. But now some problem is there. What is the problem? Suppose that user can't able to validate the email or any of the input field. Okay, it's the button is disabled, but user can't understand where is the error, because we are not populating any error message. So this type actually it will be the tedious task. It become the problem for the user. So what we will do, we will pass the error message. So how we will pass the error message? Let's see. And not only this much, there are different property are there, like touched, dirty, valid. These all different property are there, so that we can see. So see here, there are two ways in which you can get the reference of the form control. One way is to use the contact form variable. We had already done that. we had created the contact that variable, and we can use that contact form dot control dot field value dot valid to find out the first name is valid. That already we had seen the, okay, that it will give the control. Just 1 second. We have to pass the message. Yeah. So now we will take that separate message section and what it is verifying actually. I will not go with all. I will just go for one. That's it. Because same type it will be for all. So what we have taken, first name, okay, dot valid. First we are checking whether it is valid or not. Next, first name dot dirty. When we be passing something, removing, then this will consider as a dirty. Then we are verifying touched, means you had touched that input field. Okay, and this interrogative sign is optional. If you want, you can pass that. Either if you not, you can remove. Not an issue. Means it will check the data. It is for the checking the data purpose. Means, but whenever we are working, try to pass this interrogative sign. It will validate whether data is null or not, like that type. So first name dot touched. So here we are passing three property. One property is valid, one property is dirty, and one property is the touched. Means if you pass, means if you had performed this all three property, and if the form is valid, what we are passing, what we are checking second condition, and this completely will be one, whether touched or dirty. So then only it will show that if name. Okay, and if that is valid. Just 1 second. Some styles they had written or not. No style they had not written. Okay, nice. So now come to the what happened. What is the error? Okay, actually, where is that first name? It taking from there. That's fine. We have to pass reference then, because this first name it not identifying. So what we will do, we will get that first name or email ID or last name, all things from here itself. Okay, how to get that? So we will get from this reference itself. So we will make one local variable here. How to make, we will pass a hash. Okay, so take this first name and pass with this first name equal to first name equal to, we will pass here ng model. ng model. Okay, and already ng model is there. That's fine. Next, what we can do, we will get that data. So ng if equal to first name, remove this one, dot valid, fine. 1 second, sorry. In this let it to be not itself. Not first name dot touched, first name dot required, first name. That's fine. Let's save. Let's see. What happened? Okay, it's compiled success. Now just to see. Yeah. So whether we be getting the error or not, we had touched this one, pass outside. Now you can see that error message, invalid first name, because we had not passed that value. Let's pass the value a. Whether we getting error? So no. Now we not getting the error. For right now, just I will pass a style. Where is that? We will pass that email name is required. Right now, just I passing something color name. Color green. Or for this one, now just see, we passed some data. Now just I will click this input field, but I be not going to pass any data. I had clicked. What it will happen? It going to touch it. It going to verify this touch property. See how much validations are there. Just go through this line only. Don't go anything. So what we are doing actually, we taking the reference. We are taking the reference as first name. We created one local variable because in the top also we created this local variable from this hash symbol. Okay. So here also be doing the same thing. With the help of this hash symbol, we are making that local variable. And why we taken this ng model? Ng model going to take the control. Means this ng model, same thing we passed here. So this has first name, it will take the control from the form, whether because these all property like valid, dirty, touched, these all property we are getting from the form itself. We're not having this anywhere. We're getting this completely from the form one. So what we are doing here, so we had created, so first step, we created one reference variable. Fine. Second step, we will pass this required, this also. Then only we can get this valid or not, this one. Okay. So next step. So what is the reference variable name? First name. So first name we passed here. Dot. What we are checking? Valid. Suppose that valid will return you either true or false. So as like that, we are checking the condition. We are making negative or whatever, it will come like that. So if you have to check the condition, whether you getting true or false. So already you can see here, we had done that. We are checking that. So same type you can check that also or for each one, that what you getting there, how that is not working. Suppose it will not work. Second, what we had done, we checking the dirty property. Dirty in the sense you had entered some field, some data inside this input field, but after that you had removed like that. Next, first name dot touched. So here we are checking three property. One property is valid, second is dirty, third is touched. Means if you will do this two things, touched or dirty, you will get the message whether you had entered the value or not. If you had touched and you not entered the value, it means that is dirty, that is not valid. Okay. So according to that, our error message also have to change. Like if that is dirty, so we will get this message invalid first name. If we enter the data, suppose that we enter the data, or if data is required, so what we will get? We will get the message like required. First name dot errors dot required. From where these errors will come? So I can show you in the console. Just go to console. And in the console, actually, you will get each data. What is the error? Properties of a defined reading first name. Okay, not an issue. Let it to be. Go to which one? No, not network. Second. Yeah, console. Now, just enter the data. Yeah, enter the data. Why it will give error? Let's define this one. Now it will not give error. Now also it giving error. Property first name, reading properties, first name, Angular template, line number 7. Line number 7. Okay. We will check this error message. Okay, so let's let it to be that one, that we will check later. So now what we had done, we passed the value, and after passing value also it is disabled because the email ID. So email ID is not there. So pass that a@a. Now we getting that proper, and now we getting the output also. It means that this is going to validate first name. If we are validating the first name, so same type we can pass in each one. But second condition, if suppose the data is valid or not valid, we have to pass that information. If data is valid, then we have to pass that information that data is valid, something like that. So we can go with condition itself. Here, whatever we had done, ng, if, and resolve. So like that itself, we can pass that also. So suppose we had touched that one. Okay, we had touched the input field and we want to display some error message that whether we had touched that input or not. So in that case, what we can do, we can go with the CSS. Let's create some CSS. So we will write one CSS here for the touched and those things. So we will take input. Okay, we will target input one dot ng ng dash invalid invalid. Then again we will go with the touched also dot ng dash touched touched. Okay, so be verifying here three property, one invalid, one touched. Okay, so in that case what we want to create something error message. Let's pass color itself. When we had touched this, no need to pass now this style here, remove, because we taken already with ng. Let's verify. Touch, go out. Oh, sorry, what happened? Why it not worked? So we have to pass, I think, class also. 1 second. Input ng invalid ng touched. Wait, let it remove this one. We will take one in our class dot error error dash message. Take this and let's verify whether we getting or not. So where on the touch case. So here we will touch that field. Okay. So pass here itself. Class equal to, let's see whether what is happening. So now we got that message as a invalid first name, and from where we getting this color, so that color is coming here, but it will give you problem because this for this section we want, so this will come for all, so we have to pass this here. Now we can get that. Now touch, go out, you will get the data, means you will get the error message. Now pass the data, we not getting that any message. What I want, when we had entered the data, then we want some information. Okay, it means that when data is valid, make this section one more time. What we want only and only for the valid section. So if ng form not invalid, valid, let's touch, remove this one. Okay, just we will take only one field. Valid first name. Let's save. Pass here also class. Class equal to valid data. Now pass a style for this one. Color green, save. Now just see what is happening. Go out invalid. Now pass the data. It's become valid first name, but the color is red. It means somewhere it will become problem. Where is the problem? Valid first name dot valid data. That's fine. Valid data ng if dot valid. Oh, sorry. This class error message. Now see that. We removed that one. We got invalid first name. Pass the data. We got the valid first name. Means this type, what we will do, we will check for each one, each field. So what we had done actually, we created one separate field for the valid section and we created one separate for the invalid also. But actually in this case, what we are doing, we are checking multiple condition. Data is valid, data is dirty, and the input field got touched. So these three things, if you not want, you can ignore that. Means if you want to validate only data side, you can go with just data only. If you want to check dirty also, you can. Touched, you can. So like that, and on each condition, you can pass this data. So just whatever ng if condition, how we are adding, that is the main case here. Nothing is there. Got it? Or you want one more time some explanation or something? Suppose if we want for the email ID, where is that? Not email ID, mobile number. Here something is extra, means like a mean length and these all things. It's not required. Why we will check mean length? Mean length. It's not. Okay. Suppose that mobile number, we can verify length that it should be 10 digit, then it is required. So two property we can go with the touched also. So like that multiple condition we can pass. So like above itself, you can pass all the condition, whatever condition you want. like this. Just I will write dummy. I will not write that exact. So what I want that ng if, let's say, pass one reference variable here. Take any reference variable as mobile number. Okay. Let's say do one thing with has mobile number we can get or not. 1 second. Okay, let it to be first equal to has a mobile number equal to ng model. That's fine. Now we will take this one. So what I want a mobile number dot valid. I not want this dirty property, and I want this touch property. That's let it to be. So either mobile number is valid or the field got touched. We will get one error message. Okay. We will not get this much error message. Let's remove. We will just add only one invalid mobile number. Okay. Invalid mobile number. If the user had entered that value, means that valid is means that is not valid, that data which he entered that not valid. In that case we can get invalid mobile number. But when user will touch that time also we will get the same error message. Now just see. Now just let's see now. Yeah. What is the problem? Unexpected or oh sorry, I passing this also. Okay. So now see, we getting by default invalid mobile number. So that's not correct, because once you will enter the data, then only we have to get that information, that invalid mobile number. Okay. Or either that touched one. So if you touching this one, then only we can get that information that we had touched, that user had touched that one. So we can go with one more thing. If you want separate, you can go separate also. Okay. Here we can verify that user had touched. Now let's see what message we are getting. So we getting invalid mobile number. Fine. Let's touch this one. Go out. What we got? We getting one message for the touching also and for the invalid also. But this is not correct, because we getting both message separate. But in our first scenario, in this scenario, see that when we had touched this field, we getting that message invalid first name. When we entering the value, then only be getting that valid first name. Means what we are doing, that's why we are checking and condition and or condition here, and then this or operator. Okay, then only we can get. And one thing, that on not condition we are giving this valid error message. Okay, so here also we had given this on the valid that time itself. That's fine. But dirty and touch, that also we have to verify, then only we can get that one. Clear? So like that we can tell each condition we can verify in the error message. So if you want multiple condition to combine in one, you can do that, like valid, touch, dirty, this all different we can pass. And after that we can design our error message properly. We have to display that error message regular proper. Clear? So just what you can do, just design one form and then you just verify this one. Let's